And we're back. We are back. Get my microphone on. Mic check 1 2 1 2. The Tiffany Show starts right here, right now. Euphoria Wellness Spa, 290 Water Street. Beautiful downtown PTBO. Welcome to season number 2 of the Tiffany Show, your TV. Peterborough, Lindsay. Before we get started, let's take a look at season number 1. And we're going to do a montage. Mic check 1 2 1 2. Jody, mic check 1 2 1 2 1 2. Welcome 1 2 1 2 guest. Come on in, sit in the corner. New executive director of the downtown business improvement area. How lucky are we? Peggy Shaughnessy, Liz Shaughnessy, big community supporters. You've been deeply involved in this community for a long time, but I'd like to get to know you just a little bit better. I'm just one of the crew. Welcome to the Tiffany Show,
Thank
Chief Stuart. That's
your hair adds a few extra inches.
it. Does, yeah, it does. It's where I keep my
you have
secrets.
me at a disadvantage.
I'm gonna make it weird. I don't even know what to say. Women to share their stories.
Happy International Women's Day.
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 International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy International Women's Day.
Happy Father's Day
Thank you.
to you, Matt.
Thank you very much.
I feel like I could get help here. What is the best thing about life?
You know, as I get older, I'm just happy to have it.
No one's getting out without crying. I absolutely love all of you. Thank you for following along the journey, for supporting the stories and the people that we feature here on the Tiffany Show. And when I say we, I mean me. Let's go. Our first guest today. 1 second, let me get her. Hold on. Sit tight. Please continue to hold. I'll be with you momentarily. All right, I found her. Please welcome to the Tiffany Show set, Adeilah. Dahlke, come on down. You're the next contestant in the comfortable
I'm
corner.
gonna cross my legs too.
Yeah, right?
Let's match here.
Let's
Yes,
match you,
okay.
match. Did you get your coffee from Cafe?
It's all the way over there.
Let's go,
I totally
let's go
forgot
get it.
Yeah,
Let's
all
go
right.
get it. Yeah. Oh.
We have some.
We have a
service
stage
here.
hand over here. Thank you, mysterious stage hand. Welcome to the Tiffany Show, Adeilah.
Thank you for having me.
My pleasure. I was really excited to get you on the show today.
Yeah.
I know you have a story to tell.
Yes. I
You
think
have
so.
lived a life, my friend.
Yes.
First of all, I know about you. We're good friends. But why don't you tell the wonderful people watching a little bit about yourself, hometown fun facts, likes, dislikes, maybe a secret nobody knows about you?
Okay. So I'm from Haliburton, Ontario. So for anyone who doesn't know where that is, it's just a couple hours north of Peterborough here. I absolutely love dogs, as I'm sure you relate to, and cows. Also, cows. Like if I could have a pet cow, I would be so happy. I really like to read. I love listening to all sorts of different types of music, except for country. I'm kind of like on the fence about country.
Makes me a little sad. Too much country
Yeah.
music I get my head a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it's like, okay, yeah.
I appreciate all music.
Yeah.
Fair.
Yeah. And then I went to Laurier University. I have an English degree, so I lived in Waterloo for about 10 years before moving here. And the only way I'm really using my English degree in a conventional sense is that I have a blog that I write for my business, and I try to read 100 books a year. This year, I don't think that's happening. I think I'm going to maybe hit 50. It's a really busy year. So
How many books a month is 100 books a year?
I think it's a couple of weeks. So probably.
No, you're just plowing through
Just
those
plowing
books.
through,
Like
yeah.
audiobooks, or you're actually
Sometimes.
reading?
It's
Yeah?
it's actual physical ones.
See, I find with reading, it's like all my brain goes somewhere else, and then I have to start back at the top of the
I
page
do
and
that
do it
too.
again.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You make up your own story while
Yes,
we're
it's
in
true.
there.
Yeah.
So, Adeilah, WBN president, the Women's Business Network of Peterborough, president this year. Super proud and excited for you. I think you are well equipped for that role. You've got beautiful leadership skills and qualities about you. Absolutely. You're also a business owner. So, Jigsaw Organizing Solutions, 10 years in business this year.
Yes. Well,
next year.
In April, I'll have 10 years in business. So I started my business when I was in Waterloo, and then I moved to Peterborough 3 years ago and had to restart my business, which is a bit of a challenge.
Right.
But yeah, it'll be 10 years next year. I feel like I have to do something big, and I just have to figure out what I'm doing.
Let's plan something together.
Well, I already have something in the works.
So I have an idea.
Let's meet up.
I always have ideas.
That's good. I need more ideas, people.
Right? Yeah, that's right. I love being around ideas, people.
Yeah.
So you're also a bit of an environmentalist. I know you're very environmentally friendly, conscious, especially with your business practices. And I thought maybe we could sit down today and learn a little bit about you, about your story, how you got here. Can you maybe share a moment in life where a setback has taught you a valuable lesson?
Well, I even at the beginning of my business, when I first started, I was 23 years old, so I was really young and terrified.
Just a baby.
And most people, when they start in their organizing career, it's usually their post-career jobs. So they're in their 40s, 50s, sometimes even 60s.
Interesting.
And so when I first started, I was totally alone in my demographic. And but it was really amazing because the people that were part of my local chapter in the Waterloo area were so supportive and helpful, and basically got me going, because I didn't get my first client for about 6 months. And I was the whole time I was oh my God, this is terrible. Everyone hates me. You get that imposter syndrome. But instead they were you just they were giving me tips on how to market and how to things I should be focusing on at that point, writing up your contracts and working on your website and those kind of things. So basically what I learned, I guess, from that was be comfortable to lean on other people and get help from other people, and just let that.
Were you already comfortable asking for help?
No. I'm still bad at that.
Yeah, I know. I'm also. I feel you. It's a tough lesson to learn, right?
Yeah.
And it's easy to get trapped in that mindset where it's I'll just do it myself because I can get it done fast. I know how to do it, right? But that's typical business owner behavior, right?
And do everything.
And the most important thing we can learn as business owners is how to delegate.
Yes.
Which I feel you could also probably help with, especially with the professional organizing. I'm just saying.
Very much. Just a little bit.
So when it comes to life in general, what have been maybe some of the most significant challenges that you have faced, and how have they shaped you as a person and your perspective going out into the world?
So, there's been several challenges in my life, but the biggest and hardest one that I've had to deal with was 5 years ago. My brother was killed, and it absolutely changed everything in my life, because he was young. He was in his late 20s, and it just changed everything about the way that I think and the way that I approach situations, and the way that I think it changed my empathy as well.
Right.
In with my clients. So, but yeah, it kind of changed everything. It gave me perspective about my marriage, and so I'm no longer in that marriage. It changed. It led me to living in Peterborough, to be honest, because I wanted to be closer to my family. I wanted to be closer to my mom. So, that was one shining thing that came from it. Is Peterborough is amazing, and I love it here. But yeah, it was really, really. It still is challenging, but I think it's made me better with working with my clients, because I'll often go to a client's house and they're oh, this was my husband's or my brother's or my child's thing and they passed away. And so I feel it's given me more empathy towards them in a way that can make it more helpful. I'm not going to be oh, you just got to get rid of that. I would never. Right. I don't think I would have done that before, but it's just made it more just easier for me to understand and empathize with. So that's definitely something that's been a very big hurdle, obviously. But yeah.
It's hard losing.
Yes.
But grief is a very, very tough journey.
It
and
is.
Such a personal journey. And it is interesting, in some journeys we can find some sort of light, some sort of community, some sort of home, right?
Definitely.
Do you mind if I ask what your brother's name is?
His name is Dylan.
Dylan.
Yeah.
We love you, Dylan.
Yeah.
I feel like Dylan and my dad are just sitting right here with us today.
Chilling, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that with us, right? It is. It's a very heavy and love and grief. It it's a beautiful thing, the bonds that we have. And I'm so very sorry for your loss, because I know that's very, very difficult.
Yeah.
And while you were going through that journey, were there any tools that maybe you picked up that you found helpful? Like, because grief is just such a personal recovery, right?
Yeah.
I feel like all of us have different vices or...
Yeah, 100%. Well, even kind of what we were saying earlier about asking for help, I think that was something that I wasn't good at right when it first happened, because I was just in a state of shock and grief and everything, but I'm learning to be better at that. So I think that was definitely something I learned, because I had to take some time off work and just be by myself and just be a potato on the couch and like remember to eat food and, you know, all those things. And so, yeah, it was definitely learning to let other people in and help.
Right. What do they say? You got to like feel it, right?
Yeah.
And like, I've leaned into that too, because previously, like, the grief would kind of creep on me, and I would try to stuff it down and like suck back those tears and not let it out. And at some point in the journey, you're like, no, I gotta just let it happen.
Yep.
Let it come out. Let the love flow. Right. And I really leaned into that like love message in my own journey. And it's remarkable, and it's powerful to get to that stage, to be able to ask for help and support when we need it. Right. Definitely. So when we talk about asking for help, of course, too, those like moments of doubt creep, but in those moments of doubt and adversity, who's pushed you on? Who's inspired you? Who's been like that rock for Adeilah?
Well, I have a really great network of friends and professional organizing colleagues, and as well as just other entrepreneurs in my life. And I feel like the majority of them are women. And there's just something about that like relationship with women that is so powerful and strong. And so all those women in my life just keep me going. And they'll be the ones that like pump me up whenever I'm feeling like, so...
I love that. I love that I'm in your circle.
Yes, you're in
and we
my
also
circle.
get to be the pump. But I do have to say, honestly, and there is something in the ecosystem of entrepreneurs that does have that element of support, right? 'Cause there's a lot of myths when it comes to being a business owner. And it is really challenging, despite what outside perspectives might think. And I think finding those pockets of support can really like push you to the next level.
Yes.
Have you found that they've helped you kind of work through any particular challenges?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I find I'll just have those struggles when because as an entrepreneur, you're by yourself all the time.
Right.
Other than when I'm working with my clients, I'm by myself, like typing things, responding to emails or whatever, and or not doing social media posts because I just don't have the motivation to do it. But then I'll just have a lovely message from a friend being like, oh my God, I saw your post the other day when it was so good. And I'm just like, oh, that just like, that
I'll do another one.
So I find that kind of thing keeps me motivated and going.
It's so encouraging.
Yeah, it is,
I feel like that too.
People need to do that more. Like, need to say their positive things.
Yes.
Everyone focuses on the negative things. We need to say more positive things to each other.
Especially in the comment sections online.
Yeah.
Like, come on, be positive. Because it really does set a tone. Because anybody negative in a comment section, like, I will go and look at your profile. And yes, I'm all about kindness and caring and keep going. But I am judging you if I see you make an inappropriate comment in a comment section. Please no. If little you were here right now, what would you tell that little girl?
I would tell her that she should just keep persevering, because I feel like there were some struggles back then, and to just I feel like everything sort of happened the way it should have. So just keep going. Just understand that it's going to get better, and it's going to be I feel like I have a really great life. And so I would just tell her that like things are good. Keep going against the grain. Yeah. Things
get better.
Yeah.
There's like that light at the end of the tunnel,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. Every time we are down and we like stretch into being down, when we get back up, we're just a little bit stronger, right?
Yes.
You can reach back farther and help the person next up.
Yeah, definitely.
And you were a little girl in Haliburton?
Yes, I was.
Yeah?
In the middle of the woods.
What was I could see that.
It was so, like, the house that we lived in, we had like two neighbors, and they were both like 80-year-old couples. So like there was no friends around, had to take the school bus. If you missed the school bus, like mom had to drive us into school. Like it was a rough time. But we basically grew up in the middle of the woods, and we had that like idyllic 90s childhood where like, you know, you're wearing like the
Wild and
overalls
free.
yeah. Like it was a good time.
Wild curly hair, jean
Actually,
overalls.
my hair was straight then. It was
No
bone
way.
straight. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I've always my hair was actually straighter then too.
Yeah?
Yeah. If I look at old childhood photos
Yeah.
as I've gotten older,
It's funny.
you never tell on because I never wear my natural
Yeah,
curls,
right.
but
Puberty,
yeah,
man. It
yeah,
just
right.
like
It just happens. It just happens. Now, I would be remiss today, and I would be letting the entire audience down if I didn't pick your brain and ask you for 3 pieces of organizing advice. And please don't be like, does this bring you joy? Because I feel like everything, I'm like, yeah, that brings me joy. Well, that
does.
also brings me joy.
I'm full of joy all the time. I know. I actually feel like I can't use the word joy when I'm working with a client. It's like trademarked now. Like
Yeah,
you're not allowed.
fair.
Yeah, so I definitely don't ever say that to clients. What I'll say to them instead is, if this spontaneously combusted right now, would you miss it? That's not something I came up
That's a
with.
good
That was
question.
one that I had heard a while ago. But it works. Like it's, you know, if it's just gone. So that could be a question you could ask yourself. Or I saw something recently that was funny that said, if it's so bad. If poop got on this, would you clean it or throw it away?
That is a good,
Right?
Yes. That really gets you to evaluate the
Yeah.
severity of the situation.
Yes.
Yeah, because there's not very many things that I'd be like, yeah, I'm keeping that.
Yeah.
A good piece of advice. What's
Yeah.
number 3?
Okay. Well, okay. Those counted as 2. So I think in my business, I try to use what my clients already have. So I encourage other people to do the same. So you know how you get that iPhone box and it's all that pristine, like beautiful kind of solid cardboard. Like those are great as drawer organizers. So you can kind of reuse things around your house to organize yourself. You don't need to go out and spend hundreds or thousands of dollars on plastic bins. Like you can just use what you already have or just go without a bin. Sometimes that's okay too. Like what a radical idea. I don't know. But
Wild. Fast and loose over here.
getting crazy. But yeah, I think just being able to use what you already have is really powerful. And people always have so many plastic bins, right? Like if you declutter enough, you're going to unearth a bin and be able to reuse that somewhere else.
You are totally right. And I feel like one of the apprehensions of bringing in a professional organizer is like, I almost have to pay twice because then I'm like, oh, I got to buy shelving. Oh, I got to buy all these tote bins.
Yeah.
Do you ever show up to a house and a person's like, I bought us 30 tote bins to go through today?
And I'm like, what did you do? I told you not to. Yeah.
Is that part of your onboarding rules?
Pretty much. Yeah. They'll ask me like during the assessment, they're like, is there anything I need to do to prepare?
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. Like, don't buy anything. Don't just leave it the way it is. It's all good. But there has been a couple people that I've showed up and there's bags of plastic bins. And I'm like, oh no, what have you done?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh, no.
It's like, just keep the receipt. You're going to return all of those.
Back that away.
Yeah.
So we could bring you into, we should have you back on an episode where we go into like my basement or my spare
God.
room and
Can we
like
do that?
organize it together. Yeah.
I would love
you'd
that.
be surprised. Everybody's got a junk drawer. And look, we don't got no kids.
Yeah.
So that spare bedroom of ours, I swear to God, it just
storage.
we just keep putting stuff in there.
Yeah.
At some point, I would like to set up my spare room as like an office / dressing room.
Yeah.
Because right now my office is in the living room and I kind of like move it around.
Right.
But yeah, I could definitely use a professional organizer.
Yes, please. I would love to do
And
that.
I do have to ask you, why? Why professional organizing? Like, are you just like that? You like to see everything in its place, or
Yeah, so I was always really organized as a kid. Like I had my agenda all color coded with my different classes. I was one of those kids that would just do my own homework. I would keep my room tidy. Like it's just always been something that's very innate in me. But I just didn't realize it was a career until after I graduated university and was having an existential crisis, as you do.
valid? Same.
But you know what's funny? I don't know if you ever watched the show on TLC called Clean Sweep.
Yes.
Oh, I loved that show as a kid, but I didn't clue in like, oh, I could do that as a job.
Oh my God.
I like 12-year-old me would be sitting there like with my popcorn watching Clean Sweep.
Just
like,
jamming.
just-
I was a
just
trading
loving it.
spaces kind of
Oh,
girl.
yeah, that's a good
I
one,
wanted
too.
the records on the wall. Fun fact, one of the walls in my living room is bright red. And all the other ones are
love it.
it's a little
Accent
trading
wall.
spaces thing. Yeah, a little
Yeah.
accent wall. Sorry, I cut you off there.
Oh, that's okay.
So Clean Sweep.
Yeah.
You're there with your popcorn. We're with you.
Yeah. And then, I went to university, had an existential crisis, and was like, what am I doing with my life? And at the time, I was packing up to move, and I was like, maybe I should be a mover. But then I was like, I don't really want to be a mover. Like, I basically wrote down all the things I like doing, threw a combination of words into Google, and somehow came across this woman's website who was an organizer in my area. And I was like, what? And then I noticed that she was a member of Professional Organizers in Canada. So I was like, what is that? And I just I just deep dived right into it. Like a couple months later, I had like joined, started taking courses, and found my people. Like it was amazing.
Sometimes you just gotta jump and build the net all the way down, right?
Yeah. Throw some random words in Google. It worked.
Just go for it.
Just try it.
Take the shot.
Yeah.
And did you work like somewhere else while you were building this, or you just like focused on this for 6 months full time?
No, for the first couple of years, I had another job at the same time. But it was amazing. As soon as I quit that job, because I was like, I need to focus on my business. This is what I want to do. So as soon as I quit that job, it was like everything exploded, and I had like my phone was ringing off the hook, and I had people email. Like it was crazy. So I think that like kind of manifesting thing worked, where I was thinking about it more, and then just more things happened.
Yeah.
So that was pretty awesome.
It makes me excited for you. Yeah, it totally does. I just love to hear the success stories, right? Because like not everybody like comes from businesses being handed to them. Actually, it's like 98% of businesses are individuals that have built it up from scratch. So like I love to cheer it on, and I love the headspace that it puts us in.
Yeah.
So we kind of talked about how other professional organizers had supported you on your journey and other people when you had reached out for help. Can we get a little bit specific? Can you share a moment where somebody's kindness towards you impacted the rest of your life?
Well, actually, probably the most significant time that happened wasn't even an organizer. It was back when I was 17 years old, and it was little me in high school in grade 12, and I had to complete my 40 hours of volunteer work. And so my art class in high school took a field trip to the local art gallery in Haliburton, which is the Rails End Art Gallery. Plug to the Rails End.
Plug to the Rails End.
And Lori Jones is a curator there.
Oh, hello,
Hi,
Lori. You can tell we're friends.
And anyway, so when we were doing a tour of whatever exhibit was happening at the time, and she's like, if anyone needs any volunteer hours, you can do them here. And I was like, oh, sold, we're doing it.
Sign me up.
So, and at this time I was so shy and like awkward and like, just, I really blossomed when I got to university. But at that time I was still really awkward and quiet and whatever. And so I ended up volunteering there like every Wednesday and Monday evening or something like that. And I completed my hours, but then I just kept going because I didn't really I liked being there more than I liked being at home. And so she, at the end of the school year, she was like, do you want a job? And I was like, yes. And so she ended up hiring me on to work there. And so I worked there for 2 summers, that summer, and then the summer I came back from university first year.
Nice.
And we're still friends to this day. Like, I just love her. And she's been so supportive of my business. She like gets me involved in the art and craft festival that happens every year.
Oh, brilliant.
And so she still to this day is such a huge support system for me. And I just love her. And like, so that's something I'll always treasure, because like I was just like an awkward 17-year-old, and she saw something in me, I guess. Like,
took a chance on you. Yeah. It's important to give those chances, right? Especially to young people that are up and coming and maybe a little bit shy and introverted and in their shells, because things change and you never know who you inspire along the way, right? Yeah. It's like the other day, one of my girlfriends was watching a rerun of the Tiffany Show, but her little daughter was sitting beside her on the couch. So she took like a photo and sent it to me. And she was like, you just have no idea. Her face, she was like, Tiffany has her own show? And then, so she was like, you have no idea how you just impacted my little girl for like the rest of her life. She now knows like you can literally do anything. Yeah. Fun fact. Nobody on this planet knows what they're doing.
That's true.
Nobody knows what they're, everybody's just figuring it out. You just try something. If it works, you do it again. If it doesn't, you try something else. Like, seriously, billionaires, millionaires, doesn't even matter. Nobody knows what they're doing. No. So
it's all chaos.
Yeah, forget about the game plan. Just go with your gut. Trust your gut. I mean, who am I to say? I plan everything. I like a little plan. But a skeleton, it doesn't have to stick to it, right?
Exactly. That's the way I am too. Yeah.
Pivotable. What we learned in COVID.
True. Very true.
Words we don't ever want to hear again. Well, as we wrap up today, Adeilah, I'm grateful for you joining us, but I want to know before you go, what is the best thing about life?
I think it's the people, honestly. Like I love making connections with people. I love working with my clients because it's so intimate. Like I get to know them. I'm literally rooting through their junk drawer, their underwear drawer, their basement full of shame. Like it's
I have a shame basement.
Most people do, right? public service announcement. Everyone has a shame room or basement or something.
Yeah, that's
You're
right.
not alone.
Tell the people
Yeah.
too. Yeah, exactly. That too.
Yeah.
Everybody's got a shame room or a junk drawer. Forget it.
Yeah, and so I find that like, I just love making connections with people. Even if it's the random interaction in a bathroom and you like compliment someone's shoes and you just have that moment. Like I just love that. Like it just. And once again, I feel like it's mostly women who do that, to be honest. Like I don't know, it's just this camaraderie among people. And I mean, if no one else existed, it would be so boring.
Yeah.
Like I don't think, I think that's the most exciting thing about life. It's just people.
They do.
With different experiences, different perspectives. Yeah.
And they make us live longer, right?
Totally.
Like we can't be alone. Do you ever watch those shows? Like there's one on, I don't know, Discovery that's called Alone, where they like go out into the forest and they're all alone and whoever lasts the longest wins.
Really?
I would have lost 48 hours in.
Oh my God, yeah.
I'd have been talking to the camera guys and
Can you please talk back to me?
exactly, right? Epic fail. But you're absolutely right. We need people in our lives and people are very, very special. And I think, as more negativity kind of bubbles up, it's increasingly important to share those kind things about each other, right? When someone's walking by, oh, you look so happy today. Or like just like kind of those genuine comments.
Yeah, genuine
right?
ones.
Like,
Not creepy guys yelling out of a car.
I really like your, we're not even going to go there. We all have a DMs that we ignore. It's a bunch of people having conversations with themselves in there. If I don't respond to your DM, I'm leaving you to talk to yourself. Yeah. That's right. And finally, today, Adeilah, the floor is yours. If you had a message to share, anything you want to share, the floor is open.
Okay. I mean, I've touched on it a little bit already, but I think that asking for help piece is so key. Like that takes a lot of bravery. And but I think it's just really important to know when to ask for help. Like whether it's getting a friend to help you out organizing your space, whether it's getting a professional, like for anything, like having a support system to guide you along the process can be really, really helpful, and also keeps you motivated, makes it go faster, like all of those different things. So everyone has their shameful secret buried in their house that no one knows about. Like we don't know everything that's happening in people's lives.
Yep.
And so anyway, I think it's just important to be good to people and be kind, and because we don't know what's happening underneath everything.
You don't, right? Yeah. And that is such a beautiful message to share, right? And really speaks to your authenticity and how you maneuver relationships. And I felt like right off the hop with you, non-judgmental, honest, approachable, right? Yeah. Like I would have no problem showing you my shame room.
Well, I want to see it.
All right.
Now, so,
she's a doozy, babe. The
Sounds
attic
like
is also a problem.
Okay. Show me your entire house.
Right?
I'm going to play with your dog while I'm there.
Yeah, exactly. Adeilah, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for sharing a piece of your story. I know that's not an easy thing to share, but really, really special reminders that we're not alone in any of the journeys that we have, in any of the relationships that we have, and anywhere that life lands us, we are not alone. So be kind, keep going. And this is the first episode of season 2, The Tiffany Show. Adeilah Dahlke, you are such a gem. Cheers to you, my friend.
Thank you.
You're looking to sell your home or cottage? You want to work with someone who knows the market inside and out. Hi, I'm Sarah Evans, born and raised in Peterborough, Ontario. I'm very proud to call this great community home. Contact me today and I can promise to exceed your expectations. 705-768-6278 or visit sarahevans.ca.
Not intended to solicit those currently under contract.
Tiffany Show, Your TV.
Okay, wait, I wasn't ready.
Wait, hold on. Take two. Snap. Subscribe to The Tiffany Show, Your TV. Peterborough, Lindsay, cheers to you.
Cheers.